the OMG Hour.
Welcome, everybody. It is episode number 382 of the OMG Hour. And, of course, I am your host, Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane.
Oh, I thought you were going to do like an X for the...
Yeah,
I thought you were going to...
Zion Tane.
Yeah, no, you're pointing at your name. I thought you were doing like, you know...
Zion Tane. Yeah, look, Zion Tane.
Okay, so you're doing the X and then the name.
Zion Tane.
I'm Tico... Mr. Second Place.
Mr. Second Place. I can't really point to yours.
Yeah,
sorry.
I pointed, and then went to an M.
If I do this, and then you put your hand out, it'll look like I'm pointing to your... No, other way. Oh, forget it. It's terrible. We'd be no good at those videos that cut from one person to another.
Yeah, we would. Let me just say this. With all of the organized videos we've been doing to do our kicking table stuff, you know, where there's so much prep and making sure that everything's the right spot, and we've got our notes put together and everything like that, this feels exceptionally casual now and we don't have to worry about offending another person.
This feels a little more, I don't know. Hey, we still have notes, but I feel a lot less prepared for this show now because we do so much prep for the other shows.
And it's not that those aren't a casual conversation still. It's just this feels just so much.
Well, it's different now. It's finally just us. We get to talk. It's just us, right?
Yeah, we just get to chat about stuff that we did and talked about
and things. You know what I did last night?
Yeah, I know you did. You did the same thing you do every night. Try to take over the world.
Yeah. How did you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody does that.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what did you do?
I actually finished completely the Ghost of Tsushima. Completely finished it.
Completely finished it.
Well, let me caveat that with I have 2 achievements left to get, and I'm not actually sure I can get them now because I've completed everything in the game. Because
what are the 2 remaining?
There's 2 achievements, and they're both the hidden ones, but I mean, they're whatever. It's no big deal. One of them is to kick an enemy, like, basically off a mountain, so he takes fall damage, and kill him by fall damage. But, I've completed all of the encampments and stuff, so my only chance of doing that is finding some random encounter out in the middle of nowhere that happens to be on the top of a mountain.
Or you find a guy and like piss him off and get him to chase you across the map till get to the top of a mountain.
They don't chase you very far. They only go a certain distance, then turn around and run back.
Oh,
they will not chase you forever.
Shoot him in the foot. Just keep shooting him in the foot.
And then the other one, which I think will be easy to get, and I'm going to tell you this now because don't wait until I did. One of them is to, you know, when you scare by using your ghost abilities and they start running away?
Yeah.
Shoot him with an arrow. As he's running away.
When they're running.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that.
Oh, I usually run after them and hit them with the sword. I've never shot one with an arrow. I'm like, if I only just done that once, that's an achievement.
Yeah, no, I shoot people as often as I can.
So those are the only 2 things I have left to do. I've completed every other achievement, so all the collectibles are done, all the missions are done, every duel in the game is done. But my goodness, Tico, the way this game ends is just like, what? It's so good. Holy crap, the story is amazing. I love it. And, Game of the year. Game of the year. The year's over. It's just, we're done. This is the game of the year. I don't even know why anyone else has bothered trying. It's done. There's no, don't even release games this year because there's no point.
Well, I did play something this year that might be a contender, Sean.
Let me guess. You played Kitty Powers 2.
No.
Oh.
No, Sean.
Because that would have been a close second.
It would have. It is the demo for NBA 2. No, it's...
my
God. It's not even... It's a PGA Tour 2K21.
Oh, I have this game. You and I bought this like the day of release. I'm a golfer. I love golf games. I played the PGA Tour, the Tiger Woods games from 2005 all the way up to when they stopped making them, up into the McIlroy, whatever the one was. So I'm happy that PGA Tour is back. I've been playing Ghost so much I haven't had a chance to launch it. So tell me, how is it? How good is this?
It's fun. It looks fantastic. Absolutely gorgeous game. They've added rivals, so now like they'll match you up with somebody that you have to like beat in the competition. It's not really as much as the old Tiger Woods arcadey.
I was gonna ask you. Well, Tiger Woods wasn't arcadey. It was to a point because it had the spin and all that stuff on it.
Sorry, when I say arcadey, I don't mean necessarily in the actual golf. The golf is pure simulator golf.
Right.
The Tiger Woods used to have these things like where you'd go through like a career mode where you'd face off against like a big, giant, bearded Scotsman and like a sumo wrestling, Japanese guy, like all the stereotype golfers that you used to have to face in the Tiger Woods stuff in the early days of Tiger Woods. Is this just me?
I think this is just you, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
This existed. You'd go through, and you'd have to face off, and they'd have these made-up guys, and you'd have to beat them in.
Tiger Woods was always about the real golfers. You went up ahead.
No, the final guy you had to beat, the final matchup was Vijay Singh that you had to go up against. But there were made-up, like, Otis Mick Oderson, whatever, like some big Norse guy used a tree club, like a tree branch as a club and stuff like that. Like,
I think you're talking about Hot Shots here, not PGA Tour.
No, this is a real thing. Somebody will remember this. This is a real thing. This is back in the whatever
original Xbox days. I don't.
Yeah, like this is the Tiger Woods golf. I don't like. I don't even know what year. Like, let's say 2005.
Well, maybe. 2005 is when I started playing it. Yes.
Yeah, and there was the career mode or whatever. You played against these, and Vijay Singh and the Tiger Woods was one of the guys that your created player had to face off in, and head to head. It was so this does not have that.
So
does
this feel like we're going back to classic PGA golf? This is actually the golf club.
Yes.
Okay, so this is made by Nova Scotia developer right here in Canada. I can't think of their name offhand.
HBI.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know what it stands for, but that's the name on like all of the generic clubs are the HBI studio clubs.
Yeah. So and now they've got the license. But does it still feel like the golf club, or does it feel like more like the original PGA Tour that used to be by EA Sports?
Yeah, no, it feels more like it doesn't have like the thing where you can boost your shot or get the extra roll or anything like that. Like, so you have to shape your shot properly, and it's a true golf simulator. It's fun. I'm really enjoying it. I'm pretty good at it. At the end of the day, I'm awesome.
What? A game you're actually good at?
Yeah, and then and there's a bunch of stuff you can get, like new clubs that and the nice thing I think I like about the clubs is the clubs don't give you like a massive boost. It's not like you're a golfer and you're just like, oh, you use this club, now you can hit it 500 yards further.
Can you still get a hat that increases your putting?
No, hats are just hats.
That's what Tiger Woods always did, right? When you bought the clothes always increased your stats. Like somehow buying a glove gave you better putting.
It's the magic. Yeah, so you're not really increasing your stats by doing that. You do level up, and your stats do improve as you level up.
But that's by actually playing, right?
That's by actually playing. Yeah. And again, it's not a huge jump. It's not like you're going from like unrealistic. Like I can hit the ball 298. And I'm level 15, so I can hit it 302 now. Like, it's not like I'm like, my guy's got this super powered drive or anything like that.
Gotcha.
It feels good. It feels comfortable. The pacing of your swing is really important. So like it's not pull back, push forward. Like if you go too fast, it actually says you've gone too fast, and it'll hook. Yeah. And if you go too slow, it'll fade.
And online multiplayer, can we play together?
If you picked it up on the Xbox.
Oh, so no crossplay.
No crossplay.
Well, that sucks.
That I'm aware of. I haven't actually checked, to be honest with you. I don't think so. I mean, it doesn't seem like something they would have done.
That's it. I quit. No, I'm boycott the game. No crossplay.
But it's fun. It's nice. It's enjoyable. It's a nice, relaxing thing.
This is now your game of the year, is it?
Well, I mean, it's my game of this week.
I think the next game should be your game of the year.
It could be. So I also picked up. Came out on Game Pass this week. So I'm like, oh, okay. I've played a little bit of this on the Switch. Let's try this. So, Super Lucky's Tale.
New Super Lucky's Tale.
Well, I was talking about the original.
Oh, the original. First. Okay.
The original was an Xbox exclusive platformer where you play as Lucky the Fox, and this is a port of the Switch version. New Super Lucky's Tale, which includes some regular platforming, side-scrolling. There's like 5 or 6 different types of like levels that you can do. Where it's basically just running through. It's very Mario-esque.
Yeah. You don't see like these kind of platforms a whole lot anymore now, do you?
No, like this is almost, and it's sad to say because of our age, but this is almost considered retro at this point.
This is true, but yet this is literally what we grew up on.
Like this is what we got, like Mario and stuff like that. Like ours, like it was this, but in like way less bits. But like this style is almost a retro style now because the side scroll is it's not done very often anymore.
No,
but you know what?
Well, I mean, it is done in the 8-bit retro games. Like people who are doing retro games. You get a lot of these, but you don't get a lot of modern styles of the side scrollers.
It looks great. It's fun. It plays smooth. It's got a cute storyline to it. It's actually a really good game, and the fact that it's on Game Pass is fantastic.
Yeah, of course, because you don't have to pay extra for it.
Yeah, like you've already paid for it. Basically, if you have Game Pass, you've already paid for it.
Yeah.
I've played this both on the Switch and on the Xbox now. Plays the same on both, so. I would recommend checking this out if you have the Game Pass. Just have some fun with this. It's a fun platformer. It's really good. Like this is something that I can put my daughter down, sit her down with, and hand her the thing, and she'll probably do way better than I will. I'm baffled by how a 9-year-old picks up on video games so quickly. I mean, I guess that's how old I was when I was playing them too. But like, I sit her down with like Lego Worlds, and like I was out there with her earlier. She's playing Lego Worlds, and she's like, "Here, I want to show you something." I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" She's like, "This planet here, I built 3 different villages, 2 big and 1 small, and they all have trolls in them now." Because she's flooded them with trolls, and she just laughs as the trolls run around this towns beating people with their clubs. But she's set these things up, and then she'll like. I don't know. She just has fun with it and builds like full cities. Like this. She's like, here's the police station, and here's the fire station, and here's my house, and in my house you can see this is where I keep my TV. And she's built all this stuff.
Oh my gosh!
Obviously from the pre-built little things, but she's set up and built her whole house and everything like that. And it's just really cool to see her getting into it like that.
That's cool. Well, speaking of building things.
Yes, Sean.
Bridge Constructor. You and I were fans of the original Build Constructor, and then Bridge. Did I say Build? Bridge Constructor. Because I'm talking about building things. So obviously you build bridges. We were fans of Bridge Constructor, and then Bridge Constructor Portal, which is a great twist.
It was a great twist where we both thought was like, why? And then we played it, and it's like, oh.
No, I thought it was a great idea. It works. It's Portals. I never thought why. Yeah. I do think why for this next one, however. Bridge Constructor The Walking Dead? What?
Yeah.
Why?
It's like this is a weird thing. And
what do they have in... What do they even have in... Like, what do they have to do with each other?
Yeah, and it seems very odd that you would, like... I mean, I don't know if they're paying for a license of The Walking Dead.
So here's what I think it should be. I think it should be you need to build a bridge that the heroes can get over, strong enough that the heroes can walk over it, but weak enough that a horde of zombies will collapse it. That would be interesting, because now you've got to build a bridge with 2 goals in mind.
Well, see, but that doesn't make as much sense. I think what you should have to do is build the bridge, but you have a trap point. And you have a certain time that you have to build the bridge, finish the bridge, and get all of your people across. and then pull a linchpin to like destroy it as the zombies are on it.
Yeah, but would that not be more fun to build it in order to fail? You literally just said the same thing I did.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense to me because zombies aren't driving trucks or anything like that. Where you'd have
no, but
trucks.
but they're a horde, right? So they are much more of them. Whereas you got 8 to 10 heroes just running across, and then as soon as the horde shambles on,
all right, so maybe have to build like a choke point or something like that, so that slows them up. So the weight distribution of the horde would grow in a certain area, and then destroy your bridge. Sean, let's make this game.
No, don't destroy the bridge. The bridge is designed to destroy itself because of the weight of the horde. You have to build it with two goals in mind: strong enough for the heroes, but weak enough to collapse under the zombies.
I wonder if they're going to have the characters from The Walking Dead in there. Like, are we going to have Rick show up and like you're going to have to build the bridge for Rick to get across?
No, because Rick doesn't get across bridges.
No, well that's Maybe that's where they got this idea. They watched that episode. It's like, well, if we were involved, we could have done a much better job of building that bridge for Rick to maybe that's the whole thing. It's going to be save Rick. Yeah, so like
save Rick.
In the art, it's got Michonne, Eugene, and Daryl in the art for the game.
Now, have they? I don't even think they've even said what the goal is here. It's unclear if your job is to get zombies safely across the bridge or to stop them. So we don't even know what the objective of this game is. It just seems like a really strange mashup of properties.
It does, and this is coming out on everything.
Of course it is.
Well, like this is next gen, current gen, last gen.
Yeah,
your phone,
and it'll all look the same. It'll all look identical, each one.
And even worse, Sean, we're gonna play it.
Are we though?
We're gonna join a competitive.
You know what? Here's what I want, Tico.
Constructing league.
Here's what I want. I want Bridge Constructor, the board game.
Yeah, that could happen.
Right?
I can make that happen.
Physically building bridges.
Isn't that just like Lego?
Done. I've already made it then.
And how have Bridge Constructor not contacted Lego yet? Like, how is that mashup not happening?
Well, I mean, look, maybe they did. Look at season 1 of the US version of Lego Masters. They had to build bridges.
That is true.
Right? And some of them built bridges that withstood 1,000 freaking pounds. 1,000 pounds. And it didn't break.
I mean, didn't it? No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
Cool. I know. I'm agreeing with you.
And considering, if you look at where that show came from, I'm getting off topic here, but where you look at Lego Masters came from, the UK version, the Australian version, the UK version started and like all they did was have like this remote controlled truck that went across and some of them broke under the weight of it. Right? And then you get to the US contestants and they're building bridges that withstand 1,000 pounds versus 8 pounds.
I mean they've probably seen the UK episodes before they
did
theirs. So they was like, oh well, that guy didn't do anything. That was terrible.
We're going to talk about that a little bit later. New Nintendo Switch reported to be coming next year. This is kind of old yet new news. This was rumored to have happened before the Switch Lite came out. There was rumor of a new, more powerful Switch. That rumor is now coming back. Possible launch next year. No details on it. We're not going to get details until Nintendo wants us to have details, right?
Yeah, I mean this is clearly they're designing something to play the next gen content that is currently being created. They don't want to be sort of left with last gen stuff and a system that can't do it. So they're designing a portable Nintendo that will play.
I don't even know if that's true. Like, honestly, Nintendo doesn't care about staying up with PS4 or Xbox. That's not their goal.
It is part of a goal.
It is not their goal.
You don't know that. You're not part of their board anymore.
Like I was before. They have actually come out and said that they're not trying to compete with PS4 or Xbox.
No, and I'm not saying that they're trying to compete with PS4 and Xbox, but as the developers, the third-party developers, start to move into that next phase, they want to have hardware that can take advantage of the games that they're building. So not necessarily, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but the next Assassin's Creed is not going to be built with the last gen in mind. Mm-hmm. So they want to make sure that they have hardware that can play with whatever comes next.
Yeah,
I don't think that they're not competing with PlayStation and Xbox, but they want to have their hardware capable of handling those next gen.
I think what we're gonna see, honestly, is in terms of a more powerful Switch, is not something that can handle next gen games. I think it's still going to handle Switch games. But what they're going to do, I think, is instead of the handheld being 780p, it's going to be 1080. It's going to be full 1080 on the device itself as well as the television.
Yeah.
So when you're talking more power, it means that the games can run at 1080p regardless of whether it's mobile or docked. And I think that's more about what we're going to see than something like, oh, look, now you can play something better, because they're not going to stop supporting the current Switch or the Switch Lite. They're not going to stop. It can't be so powerful that games come out that can't be played on the Lite or the original Switch. That's not what it's about. I think it's going to be more about playing that Switch in full HD all the time.
Yes, I agree.
Good.
Glad we got that over
all right.
with.
What do we know about Suicide Squad?
Well, it is set in the same universe as the Arkham games.
Yes, we knew that.
It is a 4-player cooperative type game. It reminds me, just looking at how the gameplay goes, it reminds me of Sunset Overdrive.
Wait, Suicide Squad? Oh yeah. Yeah, it looks odd. I'm getting the two confused because there's also Batman Gotham Knights.
Right. So we have multiple games. So the Suicide Squad is 4-player. It's Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, and King Shark.
Okay. Those are staples. Those are staples of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Are you saying it sarcastically? Or are you?
No. I'm saying those are staple characters for Suicide Squad.
All right. Good. So it looks like, from what I can see, that I think it's Brainiac has come down and he's trying to take over some stuff.
Oh, is that why Superman's evil?
That could be why Superman's evil.
Because they're trying to kill Superman. That's their target, at least in the trailer.
Yeah. So it's Suicide Squad kill the Justice League.
Yeah.
So you're playing as them, and I believe that Brainiac has taken over. It does feel very much like a very fast-paced, very quick. It looks fun. It looks very tongue-in-cheek, sort of what you'd expect from the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and I wonder, the voice. Did the Harley Quinn actually sound like Margot Robbie to you, or is that the same Harley Quinn from the Batman Arkham games?
It could be the Harley Quinn from the new Harley Quinn animated series too, so I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, they're very close. Whenever they get these actors to play Harley, they play them so close to each other. It's like, which one is it? They're so similar.
Yeah, they go to that the high pitch, the Harley Quinn voice, really.
Yeah.
So it looks neat. I think we're a ways away from seeing that anyway. So
yeah, they won't be out till next year sometime.
But they did announce another game in the Batman universe.
Yeah, two of them at the same time. Like, what? But different developers. So Batman Gotham Knights is coming from the developer of the other Arkham game.
Right. So this is coming from the team that did Batman Origins.
Right.
The Arkham Origins.
Yeah.
Whereas the Suicide Squad is the team that did the Arkham City and Arkham.
The video I saw with Gotham Knights, I actually wasn't all that impressed with it. I know a lot of people liked it, but I'm like, meh, I don't know. And I don't know what they're doing with the characters, but Robin was like full on mask and everything. Robin actually, to me, looked like the Flash with a cape.
Well, that's not that. So we have 4 characters that are going to be playable in this game. We will have Robin, which is Tim Drake Robin.
Right.
We will have Dick Grayson as Nightwing.
Nightwing, yes, I love Nightwing.
All right. We will have Jason Todd,
As
also
Red
a former
Hood.
Robin, as Red Hood, and then Batgirl.
Right. But this, in the trailer, it wasn't Red Hood, it was Robin. It showed his R symbol, but he had full on, like, it looked like a red Batman mask. Or cowl. Full on cowl.
Yeah.
It's like, Robin doesn't wear a cowl.
Well, that might be an unlockable costume too, which would be silly for them to have showed in the trailer.
Right, right. I don't know. It's just it was so strange to me, like that how much Robin looked like the Flash with a cape. And it's just so weird seeing Robin in a full on cape and cowl. You know, when Robin just has an eye mask, basically.
Yeah.
Right. Typically.
Well, I mean, they're allowed to, have some creative freedom.
It's like you're telling me it's okay to put a white spider on Spider-Man. Oh, wait a minute. They did do that.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this. It looks and feels like the Arkham games that we loved. It's played up to 2 players in co-op as well. So if they actually do cross-platform, or if you actually buy it for the Xbox for once, maybe we could play some stuff together.
Xbox. Who does that?
People do. Lots of people do. Plenty of people do. I've heard of people who've done it.
Let's talk a little bit about Gamescom, which is going on actually right now as we speak. Yesterday was the opening day, and I kind of watched it off and on. I watched a recap, and I don't know what it is this year, but I don't know. It just seemed like everything we're seeing announced is like, meh, I don't care about any of this. Like, there were 4 things that stood out to me during the opening salvo yesterday. One, they had BioWare talking about Dragon Age, the next Dragon Age, but it was all just literally concept art and people talking about what Dragon Age means to them. And I'm like, just listen, I don't care. I just want to see the game. You've just told me you've been working on it for 6 years, and yet there's nothing to show us.
And it's just like, hey, let's give some more teases. Like we're at the point where we're past the point of teasing.
Yeah, I don't care. Don't tell me about Dragon Age if you have nothing to show me. Yes, I'm excited for a new Dragon Age. I will play it. It'll probably be my game of the year. But don't tell me about it if you're not ready to show me footage.
Yeah, I want to see some stuff about it. I want some, like, let's lock some stuff in.
If it's not coming out this year or next, don't even tell me you're working on it.
Yeah, I don't want to hear. Don't keep like, here's some concept art for a game that's going to be out in 2025.
Right.
I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care because it's going to get canceled before that, and it'll be like rename something else.
And then Watch Dogs Legions and Star Wars Squadron. They showed a little bit more about that. Like, again, just trailers. It's coming. Yeah, we know. It's great. Okay, we're excited.
Yeah.
Okay, they're coming soon. I'll play them because they look great. There was a really cool game that I know nothing about. But this intro trailer looked kind of cool. It was called Unknown 9 Awakening. My problem, Tico, is that while the trailer looked cool, it told me nothing about what this game is.
What type of game is it?
Yeah. What is it? Again, when is it? Who's it by? Nothing. Like, what is the point, honestly? I don't understand anymore what the point of that kind of trailer is. Sure, you're showing me something cool, but you're not telling me what it is.
Here's the problem with these game conventions that are not in-person conventions. They can get away with, here's a teaser for something, because we're not going to have a presence on the show floor anywhere that people are going to walk by and have to have more explanation for.
Yep.
We can just give you a teaser about this to try to, like, again, whet the appetite for it. But they don't have to do anything other than that. It's like, hey, we got this thing coming up for Gamescom. Can we get ready in time? On a regular basis, it'd be like, no, we have no way of getting a whole booth together and gameplay footage to show people at the booth and talk about and everything like that. It's like, no, well, we just have to have like a
teaser,
a 2-minute teaser trailer. We'll show them that, and then we'll just not talk to them about anything.
Yeah.
and then that's it. There's no accountability. You can show as many trailers as you want because you don't really have to show anything other than that.
Sure, the teaser looks cool. I mean, but that could have been for a movie for all I know. And it would, I mean, from what they showed me, it would actually make a really cool movie too. But I don't know anything about it. I know nothing. I don't know what kind of game it is. I don't even know if it's PC only or if it's for consoles or what.
Well, Sean, let me tell you.
Tell me, Tico.
Somewhere in the next
5 years?
26 months, you will have some more information.
Good. Because it looked cool and I want to know.
Well, we'll find out some stuff. Maybe next week there'll be another convention where they'll show another trailer.
Yeah, maybe. Well, let's talk about TV and movies because that stuff also happens. Can we talk about Lovecraft Country for a little bit? We talked about it last week. The premiere episode was great. We loved it. And then the second episode came along, and I felt like it was a hot freaking mess. It was like it felt like they took an entire season's worth of storytelling and crammed it into one 50-minute episode.
Yeah, it really did. At the end of that episode, trying to avoid spoiler talk or anything like that, but at the end of that episode, it felt like that could have been like a season finale.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm like, okay, but that was just in an hour.
Everything you just showed us is what you were building up to in episode 1, and then all of a sudden you finished the story. And I was left after that. Now, I don't know what's happening in episode 3. There's like 10 episodes or 8 episodes in this series. I don't know what to expect next, but my problem, Tico, was I came out of episode 2, one, head spinning, but second, thinking, you just finished your story. You set up a story in episode 1, and then you finished it in episode 2. Where does it go from here? There's nothing left to tell.
I'm aware. It is a very odd thing, and it's one of those ones where if we had the whole thing to watch it once, and you can watch it, and you watch through all 8 episodes, you go like, oh, that's how they were doing that with the pacing. But not knowing that, you're going, I really hope they know where they're going with this.
Yeah. Because
it's like Lost with the smoke monster and all the stuff that they threw in there, and they didn't really know how they were going to end. And that's where you feel like, I hope we're going to come back and it's going to explain some of this stuff that's just happened in this episode at some point. And that's why this episode went so quickly like that, is because the next 3 episodes are going to have like callbacks to things where you're going to, oh, that's why he licked that toad or whatever.
I hope so, because there was a lot of like little scenes that felt like they didn't belong. They had nothing to do with anything. You know, and it felt like the whole thing was just a bunch of scenes all cobbled together. And it happened, like, I honestly think the story in episode 2 all happened over the course of like a week. It all wasn't at the same time. It was like several days. But your characters went from one location to suddenly appearing in some other completely different location, in a situation like, where did this come from? And then jumping over to another character showing something else happening, and like, well, what does that have to do with anything? And then this, as you mentioned, a season finale type situation happens, and then we're done. I was like, what the frack just happened at this show?
Well, we will hopefully get some answers in a couple of days when we see episode 3.
Yeah.
I am still very interested in watching. I think I'm now more interested because I kind of am.
You need answers.
Interested in watching it now.
Yeah, you can totally cut out, but I think what you said was you need answers.
I need answers. Okay. I also watched a movie this week, Sean.
A movie? I'm going to watch a movie tonight.
And this is a new movie, and it's interesting because now movies are starting to come back. So a movie called Peninsula, which is Train to Busan 2, which is a Korean zombie film.
Is that what? Okay, I didn't even know what Train to Busan was.
Yeah, so it's a fantastic. I don't know if you like zombie films or not, but I'm a fan of those, and it's a great zombie film.
I watched The Walking Dead. What do you think?
but whether you're a fan of zombie films.
I watched The Walking Dead. What do you think?
I think that you haven't seen Train to Busan. I know that.
I never even knew it existed.
It exists. Train to Busan is an absolutely fantastic Korean zombie flick.
Is it subtitled or is it in English?
Subtitled.
Oh, that's like watching Parasite.
Yes, it would be. I mean, it's subtitled as the common thing there. Yes.
Yeah. I have trouble with subtitled films, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm too busy reading what they're saying, and I can't actually watch what's going on.
All right. So in a zombie film, I will tell you that "ah" in Korean is the same as "ah" in English.
Good to know. Now I can translate.
Yeah, there's a lot of running around and stuff like that, so it's not a ton of reading because it's zombies chasing people through a train.
All right.
So you don't really need to read as much. I mean, this in the slower moments, sure, there's some reading, but so this is set 4 years. Sorry,
I'm sorry.
My English to Korean dictionary.
That was great. I like it.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to make this a learning moment for people too.
I want to know more Korean. Can you teach me more Korean?
That's all. That's the only Korean.
That's the only Korean you know? Okay, great.
No. So Peninsula, it's interesting because this movie has hit theaters in Korea and over there they've opened back up and they're starting to do that, which we have started to do here as well. So this is one of the first movies that's gone back into theaters. It's now I believe available on digital somewhere.
Video on demand, yeah.
Video on demand, that's the word for it. And so it's a direct sequel to that, set 4 years after the original, in a world that has been sort of decimated with zombies and how it's gone. So it's not as good in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
It's not as good. It's good, but it suffers from the first one. Was a great flick, had really good tension and everything. That this one here suffered from the success of the first, as they gave them more money, which means they CG'd a bunch of stuff.
Oh,
that made like some of the things didn't look as good because now it's been CG'd, versus having to use some practical stuff and everything like that.
Okay.
That being said,
so the CG kind of brings down the quality because it doesn't look good.
In my opinion, it doesn't look as good, and they get away from the storytelling. I felt Train to Busan was fantastic. If you're going to watch one of the Train to Busan movies, watch the first one.
All right, fair enough. I found Lego Masters UK, the original Lego Masters that started in 2017 and 2018, and I don't know if they're still doing it or not, because there hasn't been a season 3, but. Yeah, you can actually, having now watched, I'm on season 2, about halfway through season 2 for the Lego Masters UK. It's only 4 episodes the first season. And then it's like 5 episodes season 2 with a bonus Christmas episode as a season, or episode 6. Sorry, I say seasons? Anyway, 4 episodes and 5 episodes.
And a Christmas episode.
And a Christmas episode, thank you. And you can see the sort of ramp up in quality from the UK to Australia to the US, right? Because that's sort of the order they appeared.
Yeah.
And so we said earlier that the Australian one, while still great to watch, fantastic, quality-wise, the US version was far superior in the builds and just the quality of the builders and what they could build, right? Absolutely like mind-blowing builds in the UK. And the Australian ones in season 2 got way better than season 1.
Yeah.
The UK version, on the other hand, feels like literally child's play in comparison.
And it's going to happen. Number one, they've seen the builds from the previous seasons, because I can guarantee you nobody who went on Lego Masters US didn't watch
the
Lego
others.
Masters UK and Australia to get an idea of what was being built. Number one. The other thing is, as it gains popularity, the ability for casting to pull people in to do these things. Like when you're like, hey, we're doing a Lego building show. It's like, a bunch of, 12-year-olds will be like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. Why not? And then as it builds in popularity, now
more and more people,
more and more people are, it's like the first season of American Idol compared to like, when you see the auditions and the lineups around the block, people didn't know what it was. So like you had like, a few hundred people show up to the auditions at first, and now it's thousands and thousands of applications and everything like that. So you're getting a better pool to pick from when you're bringing people on board.
Right.
And so that's what we're seeing with what, the newer episode we're seeing now. It's a much richer pool of talent that you're seeing, which is why you see better stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And that's where earlier in the show I was talking about the bridges where, in season, I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 of the UK, they did bridges, but the bridges were so like plain and like there's no structural integrity on them. They weren't, I don't know, it's so weird, these bridges they built. So simple is, I think, really the word I'm looking for. And then you look at the bridges they build in season 1 of the US version, and they're elaborate, massive, and structural integrity, and some of them, the aesthetics were incredible. And then 1 or 2 of them, actually, in the US, held 1,000 pounds of weight. Whereas in the UK, I think the max they held was, they only actually tested up to like 8 pounds. No, 16 pounds, I think, max.
Yeah.
And that was it. And most of them actually broke under the weight of just the truck. Right? It's like, there's a huge scale. It just shoots through the roof when you get to actual talent on the US.
Yeah, wait till we see season 3 whenever they can actually film that again.
Or season 2 of the US version.
Yes. Sorry, season 2 of the US, yeah.
Wow, I mean, honestly, I am excited for the next seasons of either of these shows, honestly. I think the Australian one is still going because Australian season 2 was far superior than season 1. And again, because the show had started gaining traction. So you're getting a better pool of builders. You're getting builders with more talent.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway,
it's going to get better. We'll see what happens when, again, COVID allows them to start filming those sort of reality shows again.
I mean, as an AFOL myself, I love these shows.
Yes.
AFOL. Adult fan of Lego.
Ah.
Okay, so guess what actually happened? It actually happened. New Mutants actually made it to the theater. And it made a whopping $750,000 last night. In its first night in theaters.
And they're actually, those are good numbers.
Those are good numbers.
In COVID times. So, I'm interested.
Listen,
I'll watch this in 4 weeks when it's on video on demand.
It happened. It actually happened.
I know. It's weird.
What?
But I don't know what the reviews are. It's getting good reviews. Are people saying good things about it?
I've not seen the reviews. I don't know. I kind of don't want to because I want to see it. I want to wait till it's on video on demand in 17 days or whatever it's going to be. Yeah. And I want to watch it. I have been wanting to watch this since the first trailer I saw 3 years ago.
Yeah, I want to see this too. I'm glad that it's finally hit. I'm glad that we will be able to finally see this. I'm going to try to avoid
too many spoilers.
Like not spoilers, but reviews. Like if everybody says it sucks, I'm going to go into it thinking it's going to suck. Actually, I'm already going into it.
Although that may not be a bad thing because usually, if you think it sucks terrible and you enjoy it, you enjoy it more. What I hate is going into a movie being told how awesome this movie is, and then
getting there,
and then not hitting that high because it was touted higher than it really is. Dorothy and I had that experience with Titanic back in '91. Because it was so huge. The media was hyping it. Everybody who saw it said how amazing it was. People seeing it 5, 6, 7 times in the theater. I mean, it's not Star Wars. What the heck?
Yeah, see, I saw that.
By the time I saw it, by the time we actually saw it, this expectation was actually down here. And we came out of that thinking, what?
Here's what you do, Sean. Here's what you do. Find yourself a copy of Titanic 2. Watch that.
That's a thing?
Oh God, it's a terrible thing. Deborah Gibson is one of the first mates on the ship. Debbie Gibson,
Okay.
the singer.
Yeah.
It's like this is from like 3 or 4 years. Well, maybe about 8 years ago now.
So this is
it's a
literally
recent film.
Wait, is this actually supposed to be a sequel to actual Titanic movie?
I don't know if it's supposed to be a sequel to the actual. So it's set in like 2010 or something like that, where they make the Titanic 2.
Oh my gosh.
And try to match the journey that the original Titanic was supposed to make, only to fall under similar circumstances.
Oh my gosh, I gotta find this film.
It is a B movie, if there ever was one. It is absolutely terrible. I don't know how they got the license to call it Titanic 2 or whatever they did.
Well, I don't think Titanic is a copyrighted name anymore.
No?
Nah.
All right, let's call our show the Titanic then, Sean.
Welcome to the Titanic, the show that's about to sink.
All right, what else? DC Fandome Event. We talked a little bit about some of the games.
The Fandome. It's the DC Fandome.
Fandome.
The Fandome.
All right.
Yes.
Well, we talked about games. They also talked about a bunch of TV and movie properties.
Yes, lots of Batman stuff.
Batman is king in this. Suicide Squad. They showed off behind the scenes trailer as well as the cast reveal.
Did you see the number of Suicide Squad characters they've got?
I'll be honest with you. I watched that reveal trailer and the cast trailer. I'm like, this is going to be fantastic. This is DC's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah.
Basically.
But it's all the B level characters. It's all those characters that are relegated to like punch them and they're out of the scene type thing, right? Like Ratcatcher 2, you've got, well, I think Boomerang is still in it. You've got, what's Nathan Fillion? Something like DGU or something?
He is the detachable kid.
Oh, TDK. Okay.
Yeah. So his character is based, it's not actually from the comic, but he is based off a character named Arm Fall Off Man.
Shut up.
And his superpower is he can remove his limbs and battle people with them.
Shut up. Oh my gosh.
The little comic thing, it's his arms crossed like that, but you see they're actually cut off.
Oh my gosh.
He's the detachable kid. And I am just so excited about this whole thing.
Idris Elba, fantastic. Michael Rooker, Nathan Fillion, Sean Gunn,
Viola Davis, Flula Borg from the Pitch Perfect movies.
I don't know, man. This makes me excited. I mean, it is Peter Gunn, right? The writer and director James Gunn, writer and director of Guardians, and you're right. This feels like they've taken that Guardians formula and put the Suicide Squad spin on it, and I am all in. I'm all in.
Fantastic. So it is being titled, and they've done the right thing, and this is what Marvel's done with their movies. They're making a war movie, like a Vietnam style war movie with the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Now as
opposed to making a movie with the Suicide Squad and writing the rest around it.
Is this still being considered a sequel to the original? Or are they forgetting the original exists?
I think they're forgetting the original exists. Some of the characters have been cast with the same actors.
Well, yeah, Margot Robbie as Harley.
Margot Robbie, Joel, whatever the guy's name was, as Rick Flag.
Rick Flag,
same actor.
Right. I think Captain Boomerang, is he the same actor too? I think so.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. So they're just sort of erasing Suicide Squad, and then this is the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Because I'm super excited. I thought the trailer looked like it was taking place in like the 70s or something, which doesn't make sense, especially with Harley Quinn.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to be done. And of course, James Gunn does have his brother Sean in there.
Yeah, he's playing he's playing a CGI squirrel or something? Like, what is he?
Well, I mean, it's basically their Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, but what is he, a squirrel? I don't know the character. What is he?
I'm not familiar with it either. I'm going to try to actually read up on some of these.
Okay,
it looks fun.
Oh, and King Shark.
I'm excited about this.
King Shark is in it too.
And King Shark, yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
I think so too. It's gonna redeem the original Suicide Squad film.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we also saw Black Adam, some footage, not footage,
Well,
but some talk about that.
The Rock. It was more of an intro to who Black Adam is. It was basically, it was all cartoonish. It was all just cartoon, with very much looking like the Rock. So no actual film footage, but
they did talk about his foils in the movie will be Hawkman, Dr. Fate, and Cyclone.
Ooh,
so we have some more characters being introduced, and I like that they're doing this. It felt like they're doing what Marvel has done. It's like, we are going to the B Squad, sort of superheroes, and we're going to start bringing out people that you're not necessarily as familiar with, and we're going to tell some good, fun stories with them.
I am surprised, however, that Black Adam isn't bringing Shazam into it, unless they are. Then they're just saving that as a surprise.
They might. I mean, they did announce Shazam 2 has a trailer, a second name. I forget what whatever the cool.
Maybe Black Adam is a prequel to Shazam, and maybe maybe they're doing this film so that Black Adam can show up in Shazam 2, and that would be great, right? That would be a really good thing to do.
To see Shazam, like The Rock and Zachary Levi in a film together would be fantastic. That would be.
And I think that's kind of the way to do it. You do your Black Adam film, right? Yeah. It introduces Black Adam. He goes up against Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Cyclone before the events of Shazam.
Right.
And then Shazam 2 can bring Black Adam into it. But you know what I find so weird, because it's turning the superhero movies on its head, and the movie is about Black Adam, who's a villain. And he's going up against the heroes, right? The heroes are essentially the villain of his story.
Yeah, I like it when they do that. I like it when they tell the story from the point of view of the villain, as opposed to.
Yeah, but it's also like, who do you vote for? Like, who do you root for here? Do you root for the bad guy? And then, of course, you root for Black Adam in his film, and then Shazam comes along with both of them. Now who are you supposed to root for? Right? It's just, it's such a juxtaposition of, what are you supposed to think or feel as you're watching these films?
Well, you just think that we're lucky that we have films again.
Oh my gosh, you're absolutely right about that. You want to talk about Batman a little bit?
No.
All right. How about the Snyder cut of Justice League?
No.
Which just looked like a trailer of a bunch of deleted scenes.
It basically, so the Snyder cut is being presented in 4 parts.
Apparently. 4 hours. It's going to be a 4-hour film. Listen.
Well, four parts.
I will watch
know how long each part will be.
Well, I think they've said it's 4 hours. I think that's what they said.
And apparently, it only uses 30 minutes of footage from the original film.
Shut up! Are you serious?
That is what I have heard. That it only uses 30 minutes of footage from the original film. So we are going to see basically 3.5 hours of
new footage,
which is great.
Or cutscenes. Oh,
the original.
Listen,
I thought it was horrible.
One thing I was reading about it is that we're going to see a lot more origin style stories of the characters we haven't seen before, like Cyborg, The Flash, Aquaman. We saw his film. So really, Cyborg and Flash. We're going to see a little bit more about their origin story in this. Which kind of because now we've seen Wonder Woman, Aquaman, we know Batman and Superman. I hope they do a lot more with Black Suit Superman, rather than just bring him in at the end to save the day. Do more, and we need more. I'm looking forward to it. Listen, I'm not a fan of Justice League. I'm not a huge fan of what Zack Snyder has done to DC films. I don't think he understands comics, to be quite blunt with you. I don't think he understands DC comics, really, when it comes down to it. But I will watch this because I want to know what it is. I want to know how different it's going to be.
I'm interested to see what they do with this, particularly since, I want to have that comparison of because I really didn't like the original movie. I want to have the comparison to what the new cut is going to be.
Yes. And what do you think of the new Batman trailer?
I'm
with Edward.
Also a fan. Like I'm a fan of
the vampire Batman.
This.
You like the vampire shiny Batman?
It's a darker whatever. I'm a fan of what DC's doing compared to what DC has done in the past with a lot of stuff. I think that they are on the right path for their movies.
I like that it's sort of taking that darker Batman Begins tone.
Yeah.
But what I really, really like about the tone of the trailer is that they're setting this up to be an actual detective film, going back to the roots of who Batman is. He's the master detective. That's who he is. That's how he started. And my understanding is this takes place this is the year 2 story of Batman. So he's still a very young Batman. He's still very new to being Batman. So it's not an origin story, which we've all seen and done before. But I really like that it's more of a mystery, and I think they're setting it up to be the Riddler by the looks of it or the feel of it.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about it, because the Riddler is all about solving the clues, being the detective, right?
Yeah.
And I actually really liked what I saw. I am not completely sold on his look as Batman, but I think as a Batman story, I'm actually very, very intrigued at where they're going with it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. DC has this event has me looking forward to DC properties again.
This event made me feel like Warner Brothers finally gets it.
Yeah. They have.
Yeah, and they've also said that they finally accepted and they're embracing the multiverse. And they're saying that all of their properties, television, movies, multiple movies, they don't need to be continuous with each other because they exist in the multiverse. So even after, they've said this, even after the Arrowverse's Crisis on Infinite Earths, the multiverse still exists in all of these different properties.
Right.
The main, and we said this before, the main reason for that event on TV was to merge the television properties into one universe.
Right.
But the movies still take place in multiple universes. The Titans takes place on a different universe. Swamp Thing, the
Green Lantern Project.
The Green Lantern Project, right? These films. So they're embracing the multiverse. And in doing so, Tico, they've now released the ability for television to use characters originally slated only for movies. There was a time when they were using the Suicide Squad early on in Arrow, and then they were told you can't use them anymore because of the Suicide Squad film. They are now backtracking that rule, and they are now allowing the television properties to use whatever character they want because they're embracing the multiverse.
Right, so we can now see Aquaman show up in the Arrowverse. We can now see different people show up in different places, and I'm happy to know that we have those possibilities, having those characters, and we're not sort of handcuffed to storylines in a certain way because of that.
I agree, because they had big plans for Suicide Squad on Arrow, and then they had to scrap them because they were told they couldn't use it. They were setting up Harley Quinn on Arrow. At one point, there was a hint to Harley Quinn being there, and then they had to pull that idea because they weren't allowed to use her.
But she was part of the Suicide Squad, and that was now done.
There was a small scene where she was essentially behind a door, right? Yeah. And there was a voice that said something, but you knew without a doubt that's Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
And then they weren't allowed to use her, so
maybe we see more cool stuff.
Let's talk about one last thing before we close up shop for this week. Netflix has announced they're doing a new Resident Evil live-action series, not a film, but a series that takes place in the future with Wesker's children. It takes place on two timelines. One that takes place sort of during the entire outbreak, where they're small children, two daughters, they're small children, and then one in the future, like 20 years later, in the aftermath of all of the Resident Evil events, where one of his daughters, she's grown, she's now dealing with what's going on, learning about who her father was, and dealing with what has happened to her sister, and they don't say what that is. So I'm very intrigued. I actually really, really enjoy the Resident Evil films, the Mike J. Anderson films. I'm actually looking forward to this. I enjoy the Resident Evil media stuff. Even if I'm not a huge fan of the games anymore, I am a huge fan of the live action Resident Evil stuff. I like the IP and this idea I'm really sold on, and I've been a big fan of the live action stuff that Netflix has been coming out with lately. They've been doing a good job. They've been spending their money wisely. They've been putting some good stuff. I mean, there's some crap out there too. I mean, The Floor is Lava, stuff like that slips in there every once in a while too. But a lot of their stuff has been really, really fun. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this. These series that have been coming based off of video game and comic book IPs. They're doing really well with them. The quality work.
Yeah, we've been getting some good stuff. Umbrella Academy,
The Boys,
The Warrior Nun, The Boys, some great stuff. That
The Witcher, because
because they're spending the money in the right way, and basically saying, yes, we want this. And a studio has to worry about their advertisers, whereas Netflix has to worry about just keeping their subscriber numbers up, which means continually announcing, good content with recognizable names. So Resident Evil, this is going to do well for them. I'm excited about this and looking forward to watching this.
Ubisoft, take note. I want an Assassin's Creed show. We've talked about it several times in the past. I think you could really make a fantastic Assassin's Creed story as a show, not just a movie.
Yeah.
Right?
I would agree with you. If you can keep making the games, how could you not just make the...
I think you could really make some interesting stories as an Assassin's Creed game, or television series. And, if it takes Netflix to do it or Amazon Prime to do it, then let them do it. Because there's quality stuff coming out of those networks. Yeah. So that is pretty much it for episode number 382 of this here show, the OMG Hour. If you're watching us here on the YouTubes, give us a like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share. Click the little bell. I think it's up there somewhere. And you'll get notified as we post new stuff. And we are posting new stuff all the time now with our kicking tables and flipping tables.
The time.
Follow the show on Twitter at the OMG Hour. We're also on Facebook as OMG Nexus. And I am Ziantane everywhere, and that is XIANTAYNE.
You can follow me at Mr. Second Place, and Instagram is where it's at for all of our fun board game things that we do picture-wise. So you can follow that at Flipping Tables with OMG.
Yeah, if you're not much of a reader, you just want to flip through for the pictures.
Just want to look pictures, they're
pretty pictures.
You can look at them. There's words underneath the pictures that you could read, and then there's links that you can click to the channel, and then you get back here and you can watch the stuff. Okay, I'm just going to stop talking now.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll talk at you again next week.
Bye, guys.
All right, now continue talking. What do you want to say?
You want me to talk?
What do you want to say?
I'm done now.
I
was going to say, the pictures, and they come back here, and then the subscribe button, they can do that, and then whenever we have the videos like those ones.
You mean that subscribe button right there?
That one there.
And those videos over there?
Yeah, and then they can get notified and find out and watch them, and that would be cool.
That would be very cool. And we would love it if you subscribed and shared.
Yeah.
Help us out. Get those numbers up. We would appreciate it. Help us grow the channel. We love it. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.